Hello and welcome back to Bits and Bobs. Today's video is all about the life and legacy of King Henry V. Now then, we'll begin with his father here, who is Henry IV. Henry V was the son of King Henry IV. And Henry V's mother, of course Henry IV's wife, was Mary de Bohun. So Mary de Bohun and Henry IV, and their child was King Henry V, who was born on the 16th of September in 1386. So in the late 1300s, he was born. He was born at Monmouth Castle in Wales, hence his nickname in later life, Henry of Monmouth. And so you may hear Henry V being referenced as Henry of Monmouth due to where he was born. Henry of Monmouth because he was born at Monmouth Castle in Wales. Now then, he was raised in Monmouth Castle as well. That's where he grew up for the early stages of his life. Of course, it was a bit more grand and luxurious back then than it looks today. And you can imagine how regal it would have been, a nice big castle. Now he was living and raised there until he reached 16. When he was 16, he began, he had of course been having lots of training for such a thing, but he first entered battle. One of the earliest battles he took place in was the Revolt of Olwyn Glandia in 1399, which was in Wales, a conflict happening in Wales, and he fought there in this battle. As we can see here, he would have joined his English troops and fought alongside them in this big revolt against a Welsh rebel. In 1403, the young prince fought at the Battle of Shrewsbury, which we will return to, and in 1399, Henry was knighted. And he was knighted by the current king, of course, who was Richard II. He was knighted by Richard II in 1399. And there he is, Richard II, the king who was king before his father, Henry IV. Because at this time his father was exiled. In 1398 he was exiled, but with huge public support, Henry IV deposed Richard II in 1399. So his father became King Henry IV, in 1399. And of course, if his father was king, that meant Prince Henry was made Prince of Wales and heir to the throne, next in line to the throne of England, in 1399. Now returning to the Battle of Shrewsbury in 1403, the young prince was shot in the face, right in the nose, and the arrow burrowed 6 inches into Henry's skull where it was lodged. As you can see here from this depiction, a very usually fatal and of course very painful and drastic injury. However, a very specialised piece of equipment was made by John Bradmore, the Bradmore screw, which dug right into his face, screwed into the arrow, and pulled it out. And that meant that Henry V was actually, or Prince Henry then, his life was saved through a miracle of technology and surgery. Now during this time in his recovery, Henry had a huge passion and love for music, so much so that in later life as king, he would give pensions to some of his favourite musicians. Now then, on the 21st of March 1413, his father died, meaning Henry became Henry V on the 21st of March 1413. And so now he's been made King Henry V will go through a key events timeline of events and things happening in his reign. So firstly was his coronation, held of course at Westminster Abbey, and he was crowned on the 9th of April in 1413, so only less than a month after he became king. In January of 1414, there were some rebellions happening and some riots, but Henry V quashes the riots held by the heretical Lollards, mostly in and around the London area. In August of 1415, there were schemings happening by French supporters during the 100 Years' War, known as the Southampton Plot, and they were scheming from Portchester Castle in Southampton, and they aimed to depose King Henry V. However, King Henry V caught on to their plans, he discovered the plot, and foiled the attempt to depose him in the early stages of his reign, so his reign was secure. Now then, Henry V was an excellent military commander and soldier, and personally led his armies in France during the 100 Years' War, as back then kings themselves joined their armies and led their armies as the commander of the military in person. And on the 22nd of September in 1415, Henry V and his army set sail for France. And the first place they capture, or siege, is Harfleur. And we can see here a source depicting the 1415 siege of Harfleur. I do apologise for any French pronunciations. This siege was an English victory, and Henry V captured Harfleur in France, a port city. The 25th of October 1315 was the Battle of Agincourt, perhaps the most famous event during Henry V's reign, as it was a huge, one of the largest military conflicts in this era. We can see here, there he is wearing the crown, King Henry V, right in the heat of the battle himself, fighting alongside his troops and leading them to victory. As you may know, the Battle of Agincourt was a huge English victory, a massive victory, as the English lost only 400 soldiers, whereas the French lost over 6,000. So Henry V, as I say, was an excellent military commander and soldier, and of course led to victory in the Battle of Agincourt. And in 1417 to 1419, Henry V conquers Normandy, it's another place in France, during his conquest around and campaign around France. And then in the same years, 1417 to 1419, Henry V and his troops conquer Paris. And we can see here, Henry V being welcomed into Paris after Paris is now under his control. In January 1419, Henry V captures Rouen, another important strategic military location within France, within northern France, I do believe. And then in 1420, James I of Scotland fights as an ally alongside Henry V against the French. In 1420 of May that year, the Treaty of Troyes was signed, meaning that Henry V was now the next heir in line, to the French throne, after the current King of France. And on the 2nd of June 1420, Henry V returns to England to marry Catherine of Valois. And we can see here the ceremony of him marrying Catherine of Valois. Again, I do apologise for the pronunciations. That same year of 1420, Henry V invites James I of Scotland to join the Order of the Garter, as they have now become allies, and at this time Scotland and England are at peace with another. On the 6th of December 1421 is the birth of Henry V's son, the future Henry VI, and he was born at Windsor Castle in London, one of the favourite royal residences for many, many centuries. On the 11th of May 1422, Henry V captured a French stronghold in Meaux, and here we can see a beheading of the leader, as Henry V is now capturing and owning this place in France. And then on the 31st of October in 1422, Henry V does die, likely due to dysentery, and he was aged only 35 years old. Henry V is remembered as a warrior king who survived an arrow to the face and conquered huge swathes of France, becoming the French leader as well, being next in line to the French throne. Henry V was succeeded by his son, King Henry VI, but due to Henry VI's young age at the time of his father's passing, Henry VI was, although he was officially the king, didn't actually rule on his own for a few years or from some years further down the line. Now Henry V is buried at Westminster Abbey, and I do think it's quite fitting for lots of these kings, as their reign begins at Westminster Abbey with the coronation, and most of them end there as well, as that's where most monarchs are buried. So a fitting tribute to the great warrior king, Henry V. So there we go. Please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you again soon for some more coins in the future on Bits and Bobs. Bye for now.